Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US Tech Stocks. This is the NASDAQ on the one week chart. So you can see that we are sort of closing in on getting up to this fifth wave here. It looks like wave one was the strongest, so wave three's been sort of creeping to the upside. So that would sort of explain to us that there is weakness in that part of the trend. And also too, like going through an old high here, normally we would come back and retest it, and that's kind of what we're looking for here. And then a move up, and then a larger correction here for 1, 2, and then a further move to the upside here. So we're just going to go into the intraday and pick it up on this wave 3 and 4 here, because we've got some long positions in here that we need to look after. Oops, I'll go into the 20,000, I think it was, yeah. So picking it up from this wave 3 here and this wave 4 here. And yeah, just working this to the upside. So really we've got to fit most, I mean, obviously Apple and Tesla are doing their own things out of these stocks that we track in this video. But most of them are kind of in this particular pattern to the upside. So we can still continue to see 3, 4, and 5 to the upside. So this is going to be the important top here for this. So this is where we've got to look to. Tomorrow we'll have a closer look at this, where we can take this off at this particular point here. We'll need to line this up with the S&P as well. So looking at the we'll look at the indices more in the indices video, but it's the same with the S&P here, looking for this this last move to the upside here. So we'll probably fail to get support on top of group 1 here. I mean, it will trade above the 5,300, but probably fail to find support and pull back at that particular point in time. So coming over to the stocks. Now, Apple's in its own little world, and we'll need to be a little bit mindful here. We could certainly just have an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up to this point and then move down. If that is the case, then we're going to look to move out of the long and look into short wherever that pullback is at this particular point. If it continues to give us an impulse wave to the upside, we've got an impulse wave here, we call that sort of low in here, so we could look at this. If we get 5 waves to the upside here, then we'll know that we're bullish at that point, and we'll look for the ABC pattern here and then move up and then look to be long on top of the B wave structure here and build into that side of it. But it's not the best looking market, this one, at the moment, as we know. And we come over to Amazon. So very much like NASDAQ and the S&P 500, we're going from wave 3 and 4 here. We're moving up into this section for wave 3 and 4 here. And then once we've got that into play here, we can look at wave 5 at that point. So we'll end up getting a classic trading levels pattern across that 200 here. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. So that's what we'll be looking at that point. If we just go to the intraday here, where we've got some trades in here, I believe. Yep. So also picking it up from wave 3 and 4 based on the S&P and the NASDAQ as well. Well, rather the other way around, the S&P and the NASDAQ based off these particular patterns here. So we're at the 180 here. So you can see that the 180 is the resistance. So we'll need to see that as support before we can add anything in here. And hopefully we may get up towards the 200. We'll just see how this plays out. Once we do have a tested support on top of the 80 here, which will take a few sessions, then we can move the stop up under the 172 area within group 2 being 65, 72, and 80. So we'll do that. So nothing really to do here, just to wait this out, but everything is going according to plan. And then we come over to Meta Platforms rather. So we've got positions back here. We took part profit here, and we've moved back in after the correction here. We're moving back in again. But the same thing applies here as well. If we look at 3 and 4 here, then we'll need to look at, be careful, we'll be looking at wave 5 up here. So this is where we need to be taking that. So we'll just see how it drifts along. I've got this here as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here now. I can see that I could count this another 2 different ways, so I'm not that sort of fussed about it at the moment. It's doing all the right things, so I put this trade into the portfolio as an open a trade to be triggered at 511, and the stop will be at 486. So I'm lifting the stop up from this low to this low here because I want to keep it away from the 61.8%, and also to the 500 here hasn't been tested. So if we get support on the 100 here, then that will be on the 10 here, on the 510, then that will be suitable to move the stop up even further. So just to let you know, I'm not quite sure where we're going to put this yet on a lot of the markets, but we need to start talking about it. So that's why it's floating there at the moment, but all looking good here as well for these trades. And also for NVIDIA as well, we've got a target set in at the 1000. Yes, it can go higher without too much problem, but we'll end up seeing, you know, because it got shied away here, we know that the sellers sitting there. So we're going to see some volatility around this number, 1 being the strongest number. So we're going to see it, you know, react from here, and we're going to see it higher and so on. But as a trend, is looking very nice. So as 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think that still needs to push up there for that one, but yeah, no big deal. Anyway, we'll take the money off here. These 2 trades are not in the portfolio because we already had this one in here. These were just here in case you didn't have a position here, and this will be the right way to move into this. So NVIDIA is going well, and Netflix is trending along. Now this particular, I've got wave 4 here, and I've got all of this as wave 1, but this could also be counted a bit differently as well. Here I could probably drag this over to this point and drag this one over to here and do a few things like that. Look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could shorten it up here. We're going to take part profit at 650 here, and then we're just going to assess what's going on. I haven't put that into the portfolio, so just make a note of that, but that's what we'll be looking at this point. Now the 630 here, the 30, it will take a little while to get that as a tested support there. We've got the arrival, the reaction with the first high above the level, so it'll spend a bit of time sort of securing that top there at the 630, which is minor group 1 of 600. So you can expect it to play out there, but all on track at this point, and we'll see if we can get up to 665 and take profit there. 665 is the beginning of this group 2 here, 672 and 680. So we'll see how that plays out. Okay, so we come over to Google. So we're looking for it to buy the pullback here a little bit, but we missed out on that. Didn't come as low, so I'm not going to add to this one as well. I was looking at the volume in this moving to the upside, because this particular, we're at the medium level here, 150. This, I would normally look at this as the arrival, the reaction, and the first high above the level, and then have a correction here. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. We've got the arrival, the reaction. We're in this 5-wave structure here, and then we can pull back in here. So we're kind of looking where to take profit in this particular space here. I was looking at the volume in this market here. So this is Google on the weekly chart. You can see that it's pushed up here, but you can see that the volume has diminished. So this could either be a wave 5 or it could be a wave 1. Both of them would have that particular behavior there. So we want to sort of lock some in here, and we'll see how it goes. So we're basically trying to count 5. It looks like we've got 1 and 2 in here already, so 3 and 4. So I probably got that counted wrong here actually. So let me just figure this out a little bit. So I can see the 2 ways it can be counted. It's either this, I'll just get this out of the way for a moment. We've either got this as a 1 and 2 here. This would be I'll have to put that here. That here doesn't count very well here, but it'll be like this. So we've probably got, I think it's okay, it would be something like this here. How far is that going to pull back? Will it cover that gap? That's the thing. I'll see where Microsoft is and a few of the others at that point, but it could actually come back to cover that gap in the 50-60% mark there, which it's not a big deal, but you know, it's still doesn't really clear us from the top there either. Look, I'll just see how this next session goes. It's not going to go far from this number here anyway, but we just need to talk about this a little bit more here, see what we can move out of it. So we'll check on, I mean, really it's it's Meta, Amazon, Google, Microsoft. They're the ones that are, you know, playing this trend out at the moment. So Microsoft here is in the same sort of boat. So I've got to kind of, I don't want to get caught out with our trades here. So first of all, I've moved the stop to 412. I have put that in the portfolio. And we're looking at this as wave 3 with an ABC for wave 4. In a lot of the cases, we've put wave 4 over here in the markets. And, you know, that means we could view this one here as wave 1 and 2, which will take this away from this one. And if this is a 1 and 2 at this point here, that's going to leave this here as 3 and 4 and 5 up here finishing. So I do want to take some money off the table just above the 4-3 here. So this particular trend here to the upside is not completed. So we're going to see a move up, and then we're going to see it being sold off. So we need to take some money off that little move to the upside, and then we'll just reassess it. I don't think we need to put wave 5 in here just yet, but there is that count there for it. So I'll just see, and then if we need to go back in on this market, we'll go back in on the B wave here. But if we get support on 430, that will set the target at 450. So that's quite nice at that point. So just to take some off here on the next little high would be nice. It will give us a bit more breathing space. But I am tightening things up. So we've got this one to break even. This one's still floating. So taking some money off here. This one's not in the portfolio because we've already got these two. It's just if he wasn't in the market at the time, well then you could be in at this point. So this one here definitely has got to be taken out at this point here, and then we can look to get back in over here if need be. Okay, so Tesla is a little bit like Apple at the moment, so they've lost their shine, and yeah, the threat here is that we can have a wave C here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and then come down at that point. So we may be able to get a short out of this somewhere in here if we can get the first impulse wave down as an impulse wave, and then we can look to short under the B wave low here for that. So otherwise we'll need to look at this as wave 1 to the upside, just being the devil's advocate here, and we'll look at wave 3 moving up here, but we'll have to move this up here higher. But the thing is, you know, when you think about it a little bit, the thing that sort of haunts me is that if we just take the S&P here as an example, if this is correct, and you know, that's if we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and the trend is slowing down a bit compared to the previous trend. So we've got to be careful. Now, obviously, you know, putting wave 4 here and wave 5 on top here is a little bit short for this. We can sort of stretch it up a little bit, but because it is slowing down, you can see the market's been, well, it's slowed down into the 5,000, and then it's just been creeping to the upside with overlapping wave structures. So it could just keep on creeping. I've seen that in third waves and just keep moving along. But if this is correct, and we move up here somewhere, and then we have this move back here, then this move back here is really going to place pressure on Tesla, and we'll see it come down, and then we'll need to label this here as 1 and 2, basically 1 and 2 from this point here, 1, 2, 3, so we can catch the third of the third on the way down. Now, it's not to say this is going to play out here, but we'll just be practical and we'll take the next logical step and set that up for a short trade, which will be good because it can hedge some of our longs at that point too. We'll probably be out of all our longs at that point anyway, so I'll be tightening things up this week and seeing how we go. Now we've got Easter coming too now. We're in sort of not April just yet, but I'll just have to check on those holidays. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.